I'm here.
Present.
Thank you. All present at this time. Now I'll call in the city attorney to discuss going into closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. We have three items on the agenda today for closed session. The first is a conference with legal counsel with regard to one item of existing litigation. That's the Shepherd versus City of Rialto case. We also have a number of different anticipated litigation items. Item 2 is a conference with legal counsel with regard to two matters. These are workers' compensation claims. Item 3 is a conference with legal counsel with regard to one claim for damages. And I have an item that I would like to suggest that council consider item as an item of subsequent need. On Thursday, after the publication of the agenda, I received a letter from legal counsel for Rialto Springs. You'll remember that was the warehouse project that was denied at the end of last year. The legal counsel for Rialto Springs has requested that we consider an action to be taken on their project that requires the council to act before your next regular meeting. So this satisfies the two requirements. The council can add this by a 4/5 vote, and then we can discuss it in closed session.
Okay. So at this time, if there's no objection, we'll do is a roll call on adding it. Clerk, call the roll.
Mayor Baca,
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Caracellas,
Aye.
Councilmember Perez,
Aye.
Councilmember Montoya.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. It seems that there's no objection. We'll add it and discuss it in closed session. Is there any member from the audience that would like to address the council on closed session?
There's no one here but our staff and our special counsels.
Seeing none, do we hear a motion to move into closed session?
So moved.
Motion's been made by Ed Scott, seconded by Carla Perez. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, move into closed session. Thank you.
Hey guys, it's Maria, the Healthy Rialto Coordinator, and today we are back with the vendor shoutouts, and we are shouting out Fabi's Bees. Today we are here with...
Fabiola Delgado.
So today's interview is going to be in Spanish, but don't worry, for all of our non-Spanish speakers, we will be adding subtitles. So without further ado, let's begin. ¿Cómo está?
Muy bien, gracias.
Okay, so la primera pregunta sería, ¿qué nos puede contar de su negocio?
Que lo empezamos poco más de 12 años. Nada más mi esposo y yo hemos trabajado en las abejas, con las abejas. Y hasta ahorita hemos seguido trabajando. Y pensamos seguir trabajando hasta que podamos.
Okay, ¿qué tipo de miel vende aquí?
Vendemos miel de flores de alfalfa, de flores silvestres y de flores de naranjo. Toda la miel es 100% pura, no tiene sabores, no tiene colores agregados. Si digo de flores de naranjo, es porque ponemos las abejas en los cultivos de naranjos, de ahí agarran el néctar para hacer la miel. Lo mismo de flores silvestres, están las abejas a lo largo del río y en las montañas, que es todo lo que nace silvestre, es de flores silvestres. La de flores de alfalfa igualmente, son cultivos enormes, cada cultivo de 60, 80 acres, pura alfalfa. Y es de donde ellas agarran el néctar para hacer la miel. Por eso puedo diferenciar qué clase de miel es cada una. Wow. Sí, y nosotros trabajamos directamente con las abejas para hacer todo el proceso desde extractar la miel, quitar la miel de las colmenas, extractarla y envasar la miel.
Oh, wow. Aquí también miro en la mesa que tiene diferentes cosas,
Diferentes
productos que sean aparte de la miel. ¿Qué ofrece también?
Honeycomb, el polen, la cera y la crema y los chapsticks que están hechos a base de la cera de nuestras abejas.
So, todo de aquí es de las abejas con
Todo
las
es
que
de
ustedes
las
trabajan.
abejas. Sí, es de las abejas con las que trabajamos nosotros.
¿Tiene productos que se venden más o algo que la gente busca?
A veces se vende la de flores de naranjo, otras veces otra, pero siempre, unas veces es una, otras veces es otra miel. Pero siempre la miel la buscan mucho.
¿Depende de la temporada?
Sí, también depende mucho de la temporada. En temporada de fríos es cuando más se consume.
Para la gripa y todo eso, ¿verdad?
Gripa, la tos, los resfriados consumen mucha miel.
Qué bueno. Ok, ¿tiene algo interesante que nos puede contar del negocio?
¿Qué le podría contar? Que yo fui la de la idea. Siempre le estuve insistiendo a mi esposo en que compráramos abejas y él no quería, decía que hasta que hubiera un buen año o algo, decía yo, nunca vamos a saber si va a ser un bueno o malo año, necesitamos tratar. Y yo tenía algo de dinero ahorrado y con eso fue con lo que empezamos. Dije, no, vamos a tratar, si se pierde, bueno, se perdió, pero vamos a tratar de hacer el negocio. Y de ese modo nos hicimos del negocio, porque yo estaba insistiendo. Y todo a esto porque tengo un hermano que es 4 años mayor que yo y él ya tiene probablemente más de 40 años haciendo esto. Entonces, y luego otro hermano ya tenía como 12 o 15 años también trabajando con abejas. Luego seguimos nosotros y yo le insistí a él, vamos haciendo abejas y vamos comprando abejas y tratando, vamos a tratar. Y después de nosotros, hace como 3 o 4 años empezó otro hermano también con abejas.
Sí.
Es de que va yendo la familia.
La familia, sí,
Sí.
¿verdad? ¿Y cómo pueden encontrarlos a ustedes, a las personas que estén interesadas en comprar fuera de aquí del mercado?
En Instagram estamos en Rancho Cucamonga, en Terravista. Ahí también vendemos y en las montañas, en Crestline, Twin Peaks y Running Springs. Estamos en esas 3 marquetas también.
Ok, ¿y qué es su Instagram?
Fabi's Bees.
Fabi's Bees. ¿Y tiene como un tipo de suscripción o diferentes descuentos para la gente que viene y compra más de un frasco de miel?
Sí, cuando es más poquita el monto de la miel o la cantidad de miel es un poco más cara, pero conforme va creciendo el volumen de miel es menos. Por ejemplo, una libra cuesta $14. 3 libras en 30 cuando deberían de ser $42. Entonces, un galón trae 12 libras y son nada más $95, cuando 12 libras deberían de ser como 160 o más, no estoy segura, pero es bastante caro por libra. Pero ya en un galón es mucho más barato ahora. Una cubeta trae 5 galones. Si fueran por galón serían casi los $500, pero son solamente 280 por una cubeta. Entonces, entre más volumen compren de miel, es más barata.
Qué bueno. Pues muchas gracias por su tiempo. Aquí estuvimos con Fabi's Bees. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Rialto Family Health Service serves many people within the Rialto area. One of our programs are the Mobile Health Clinic. We provide a mobile clinic on Thursdays that allows individuals who are non-insured or insured to see a professional medical staff. If this person chooses, we will also assist them in filling out their Medi-Cal forms and CalFresh, in which they could be eligible for food benefits. We service particularly low-income or moderate-income individuals. We assist in Social Security information that allows individuals who qualify for Social Security to activate the benefit of Social Security, not just state Social Security, but also federal, which is called SDI. It's been 12 years since we've been here in Rialto. We have served a multiple of programs, starting back to the Back on Track program with probationers. We serviced the HEAT program with the homeless. We serviced the veterans program through CDBG and teen program with the juveniles, Proposition 47 for juveniles, which assists juveniles in securing their closed records so when they transcend into adults, there's no issues with a lingering criminal charge against them, so they can start with a clean slate. It's a mistake that oftentimes individuals aren't aware that all juvenile records don't automatically become sealed when they turn 18. They have to be a conclusionary process in which the records are cleared and allow them to go forward. Or it could hamper them throughout their life in having an active record in their history. We are available and open Monday through Thursday. Our hours are between 10 and 2, but they can be altered on special occasion for an appointment. We would also like to thank the City of Rialto and the Community Service Department for allowing us to be here. We've been here for over 12, and it's been a joy bringing the service. There's been many individuals whose lives were positively changed by walking through these doors. We continue to like to participate in this and look forward to servicing the Rialto community.
Hi, I'm Sean.
Hi, and I'm Miss Debbie.
And we work at the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Department for the City of Rialto. We're both daycare site supervisors for the Child Development Division. Today, we're going to be sharing with you some information about our Tiny Tots program. Our Tiny Tots program is designed for your child to gain all the tools and knowledge to be kindergarten ready. In the classroom, your child will become familiar with the alphabet, numbers, and spelling. Your child will have so much fun while learning and developing their social skills, creating arts and crafts, enjoying music, story time, and creative play.
We offer 4-week Tiny Tots sessions for ages 3 to 5 years old at Banks Elementary School. Children must be potty trained. We offer Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Tuesday, Thursday, both from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The cost for Monday, Wednesday, Friday sessions
The meeting will come to order. The City Council, the City of Rialto, the acting successor agency to the redevelopment agency, the Rialto Utility Authority, and the Rialto Housing Authority. Council will come to order. The City Council will call the clerk, call the roll call.
Mayor Baca,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Scott. Present. Councilmember Caracellos.
Present.
Councilmember Perez. Present. Councilmember Montoya. Present. City Treasurer Ed Carrillo. Present. City Attorney Eric Vell.
Present.
City Manager Tanya Williams.
Present.
Okay, all members being present, what we'll do then is do the Pledge of Allegiance. That'll be led by Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott.
Please join me in the pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you can remain standing, we'll do the invocation by Pastor Joel Booker from the Inland Lighthouse Church. Did he step out?
I don't see him present.
If not, then we'll have Cynthia Alvarado. She is a pastor by nature on her part-time job that she has on the side. We didn't know.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of the council. If we will all bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for allowing us another day. We ask, Father God, that as our fearless leadership comes before you this evening and takes care of city business, we ask that you give them all the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that they need in order to make the proper decisions for the city of Rialto and their community. We ask that they just continue to do great things here in this city, and that they do it not just from all of their smarts, but their heart too. We ask, Father God, that they just continue to move this city forward with its greatness, and not just continue to make us a trendsetter, but be the city that everybody wants us to be. We ask all these things, Lord, in your name. In Jesus' name I say, amen.
Thank you very much, Pastor Alvarado. Next, we have the city attorney's report on closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. We had three original items on our agenda for today. The first was an item of anticipated existing litigation in the Shepherd case. You heard a briefing from special counsel. You had two other items of anticipated litigation, which you heard from special counsel and from city attorney's office on. There was no reportable action on those items. And then finally, we did have an item of subsequent need. We had received a letter from a developer that came in after the publication of the agenda and needed action tonight. You took that action consistently with the Brown Act. There's no reportable action on that item, and that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is presentations and proclamations. What we're going to suspense a little bit with what's on the agenda, and an item that's on consent item that'll be before us, which is the Rialto Police Department to apply for discretionary general funds through San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors, 5th District. At this time, I'd like to have Supervisor Joe Baca Jr. It gives me a great pleasure to introduce Joe Baca Jr., Supervisor.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, City staff, and community at large. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm 5th District Supervisor Joe Baca Jr., representing Muscoy, Bloomington, Colton, Rancho Verde, and proudly our hometown city of Rialto. And before I talk about item D7 on the agenda, I think it's important that we give the community some updates on some of the investments that have been made over the last 4 years in the Rialto community, just so the community has an idea of some of the investments we made. So first one I want to talk about is the off-road vehicles for the Rialto Police Department. That was roughly $162,000 to allow our police department here in Rialto to have off-road vehicles to suppress crime in our flood channels. We think that was a great investment. Also want to talk about our investment we made with the Rialto Fire Department. $150,000 for a specialized utility vehicle for the Rialto Fire Department that can help them with response times and collaboration with the County of San Bernardino and our surrounding agencies. The other thing I want to talk about is the $1.15 million, and this was in partnership with the City of Rialto for the improvements on Lilac Street. It was a partnership where funds were combined through our unincorporated areas in the City of Rialto to improve the Lilac Street. The other thing I want to talk about, which was also a partnership with the City of Rialto, is $887,000 investment that we made in a street light on the corner of Easton and Cactus. And this is very pivotal because many of the Rialto residents travel to and from the Renaissance. They use that Easton corridor, and it was a tremendous investment. The other thing I want to talk about is the $2.45 million we made in the Randall Avenue culvert. This was to widen Randall Avenue because there was concerns about the street not being wide enough for 2 lanes. So we were able to accomplish this, and it's already up and running. The other thing I want to talk about is the $798,000 we made in the Cactus Trail improvement. We add some aesthetics. You notice that fence. We added some DG on the ground to make sure that it's more aesthetically pleasing for the community. The other thing that's currently going to be under construction is $610,000 in the El Rancho Verde community. We're going to improve the median, and that's very notable because Rialto residents travel that median, especially those River Ranch communities that go through Riverside Avenue, go through Country Club Drive into the River Ranch community. So that's going to add street lighting and landscaping to that part of the unincorporated area. The other area that we're adding street lights to, which I talked about earlier, is the corridor on Cactus. So between Lilac and Cactus, we're adding some Marblite street lights for improved street lighting in that unincorporated stretch of Rialto as folks travel to and from the Renaissance. The other thing we want to talk about is, even though it's not the City of Rialto, but it's the Rialto community at large, we invested $2 million in the Rialto Unified School District Healing Garden, which will be for special needs students, which is under construction now. We're looking forward to that happening. The other investment we made, Rialto High School. We made $1.5 million for lighting for their athletic fields. Also, Eisenhower High School, we've added $1.6 million to have street lighting and lighting for the school. The other one I want to talk about is right here in Rialto is the $1.6 million to revitalize Birdsall Park, which will help the snack bar, which to get it ADA compliant, but also deal with the rain issues. They have many challenges during the off season. It rains and it gets flooded, so that's going to be helpful for that North Rialto Little League. Also, the $700,000 investment we made in the Rialto Library, and this is in conjunction with the City of Rialto to make the improvements. We added 2 study centers, which was vacant space being unused. This was a significant investment. The other one we made was the $2.1 million in the affordable housing project, the MetroLink South project, which added 55 affordable units. We want to thank the City of Rialto for their investment, and the county was able to do our small part to make sure that project stayed alive. And we're not stopping there. Some of the future upgrades we have is at Carter High School, which is within the City of Rialto. We're actually looking at improving the library there, adding about $200,000 improvements for the students there at Carter High School. So these are just some of the investments that we've made in the City of Rialto, because Rialto's home, Rialto's a big part of our community, and we want to thank you all for the good work you do. We want to thank the council who do. But tonight, I'm here to speak on item D7. So it's a pleasure to join you and let you know that our County Board of Supervisors is clearly in support of our public safety officers. And I want to give you a little bit of history. So back in June, when you had the groundbreaking for your new police station, Chief Kling says, Mr. Baca, I want you to come to the podium and tell us how we're going to get money for the City of Rialto. So then I thus proceeded. We came to the podium. We talked about what it's going to cost and what we can do. And we asked, look, we can provide 75% of the funding. If the city can come up with a 25% match, we can do that. And we think this is a great investment for the Real-Time Crime Lab. And I want to thank the Chief, Mark Kling, for bringing this forward to the County of San Bernardino. This will shortly be approved by the County Board of Supervisors. There'll be no opposition. It's roughly a 1.4 and some change $1 million investment in board discretionary money. And we think it's a great investment for our Rialto residents that can appreciate our public safety, having the technology they need to help response times, to solve crimes. But we're very, very proud to give this money. I want to thank Chief Kling. I want to thank the mayor and council for their support for our public safety. And today we have a ceremonial check to present to the police chief and the city council. And let's give it up for City of Rialto for investing in our public safety. Give them a round of applause. Come on, council, if you can join us.
Why don't you two guys, why don't you two? Two youths? Two youths? Two youths. Go in there.
Come on, Chief. You're gonna stand in the middle and squeeze in. One at a time.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Good?
Congratulations.
Sir, thank you so much. Mayor. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Supervisor?
Always do.
Well, you guys.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, San Bernardino County Supervisor Joe Baca Jr., for your support of the city of Rialto and the contributions you have made to keep our city safe now and in the future as well. Thank you again. Give him a round of applause.
Thank you.
Next, we have proclamations and presentations, but before I do, I'd just like to make one announcement. I'd like to congratulate Rialto Unified School District. They were recently honored as being one of 37 schools named to the California Distinguished Schools. And this is done by the superintendent of the state, public instructions, Tony Thurman. And the school in our area from Rialto Unified School District was Samson Simon Elementary School. And really, it's quite an honor when one of our schools gets recognized in terms of academics, in terms of its size, and its high achievement for the work that a lot of our students, and then closing the test gap, which is very important because this is how a lot of our kids end up going on and furthering their education. So congratulations to Rialto Unified School District and Samuel Sampson Elementary School. Thank you. With that, we'll start with our proclamations. And the first proclamation, I have two proclamations, so I'm going to announce them both so I don't have to go back up there again. And then I'm going to have my colleagues present the other ones, and I'll mention who will be doing those. But the proclamations I have that I'll be presenting up at the podium would be on Child Abuse Prevention Month, and then the other one will be the National 911 Educational of the Month. I'll be making these presentations up at the podium. Thank you. The first one is on the Child Abuse Prevention Month by the state and federal government, and this is whereas, for the purpose of promoting community involvement and preventing child abuse. All children have the right to receive care, protection, guidance, and that the family provides. They have the right to be free from harm and to have their physical and emotional and educational needs met. Amen to that. Whereas just over 31,000 children in San Bernardino County were referred to in 2024 to the Children and Family Service for suspected child abuse and neglect. Children's Assessment Center staff, children's staff and family service and social workers, public health nurses, law enforcement officers, educators, behavioral health, clinical, and others in the field are dedicated and compassionate and skilled individuals working under the enormous pressure to protect our children. The prevention of child abuse requires righteous solutions energy, strength, determination, commitment on all parts of those concerned in our community. Whereas to protect factors and conditions that reduce or eliminate risks and promote the social, emotion, and development well-being of children. Whereas, and I'm not going to read all of the whereases because there's a lot of whereases, but I'm going to skip to the bottom. Whereas this blue ribbon, the International System of Child Abuse Prevention, the Children's Network, has planned a blue ribbon media campaign. Remember that. Planned a blue ribbon media campaign and educational material distributions. The 26th annual Shine a Light on Children Abuse Prevention to awards and ceremonies to increase awareness of child abuse during the month of April. And I think that's something that we should all take very serious in terms of what's happening to a lot of our children, that there should not be any kind of child abuse towards any child. It doesn't matter who they are or where they come from. We have the responsibility to make sure that they're protected. And in behalf of the City of Rialto, the City Council members here, and that's Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott, Andy Caraceres, Council Member, Carla Perez, Council Member, and Edward Montoya, we'd like to present this proclamation.
Good evening and thank you. My name is Ashley Brookshire from the San Bernardino County Children's Network, and thank you for having me here this evening. And thank you for declaring April as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the city of Rialto. I'll start with just a brief data perspective that's important for each city to know. That in the entire San Bernardino County, there were 31,061 referrals made in 2024 to the San Bernardino County Child Abuse Hotline. Those would be calls of suspected child abuse or neglect. Of those 31,000, 1,633 of those calls came from the city of Rialto. Child abuse comes in many forms and may include physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, and neglect. We recognize the detrimental effects that child abuse and neglect have not only on victims' health and well-being, but on the health of our communities. Studies such as the Adverse Childhood Experiences, or ACEs, demonstrate that children who experience severe adversity and maltreatment are far more likely to experience negative health and behavioral health consequences later in life. We all benefit when children have safe, stable, and nurturing environments that help prevent ACEs and eminently promote positive childhood experiences. Suspected child abuse can be anonymously reported by calling the Child Abuse Hotline at 1-800-827-8724. Each one of you serves as the eyes and the ears in the community. It only takes a minute to make that call that might help a child or family in need. Thank you again.
Thank you. Congratulations. Next, we have a proclamation for national recognition. Whereas 911 nationally recognizes the numbers, calls, and emergencies received immediately to help police, fire, emergency medical service, and other appropriate emergency response entitlements. Whereas 911 was designated by Congress, I happened to be there at one point, as a national emergency call under the Wireless Communication Public Safety Act of 1999. Whereas the Enhanced 911 Act of 2004 public law established and enhances 911 at a high national priority as part of the national Homeland Security and Public Safety. Well, I was a member of Congress at that time. Whereas all people of all ages use 911 in its critical education, to the public of all ages to proper use of 911. And that's important, the proper use of 911. Whereas a growing number, a segment of the population, including the deaf, the hard of hearing, the deaf, the blind, and individuals with speech disabilities increasingly communicate with non-traditional text, videos, and instant messaging communication service, and anticipate that those services will be able to be connected directly to 911. Whereas there is a wide misuse of 911 systems, including pranks, non-emergency calls, which can result in costly and ineffective use of 911 and emergency response. So public, don't misuse 911. Use it for emergency reasons. Now, whereas Joe Baca, Mayor of the City of Rialto, hereby proclaims April as the National 111 Educational Month, and I call upon the government officials, parents, teachers, school administrators, caretakers, business leaders, nonprofit organizations, and the people of the United States to absorb this month with training, events, and activities to educate the public on 911 and its services. Can we have the representatives from 911 come up? All of you. You all are part of keeping our community safe and responding when people call. So I'd like to, who's gonna take this in behalf? Captain or Chief?
Oh, Captain can run up here too. Thanks, sir. Appreciate you.
Turn around this way. Michael, you all.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You wanna say a few words?
Sure. Thank you. I'm going to lead the dispatchers up here because I know there's two other proclamations. One's going to be for the dispatchers. So first of all, for members of the community, Mayor Pro Tem, obviously the mayor and the council, these are the voices behind the radio. They're the ones that keep things calm when you call 911. And in just a few minutes after the proclamations, you're actually going to see how this is all starting to come to fruition because of this council. But the entire system works because of the people standing behind me. And they're the unknown heroes in the community that actually keep not just the calmness when you call the police or the fire department, but more importantly, they keep the officers and the firefighters safe. So thank you for recognizing them and for what you did when you were in Congress. So thank you. Yeah, thank you. And don't leave. And while the Mayor Pro Tem is coming up, we've got some graphics for you that Gabe has placed. But I also want to kind of talk to you a little bit while the Mayor Pro Tem's coming up. Council, just so you know, Brandy Calderon is one of our brand new lead dispatchers. Brandy. So it's, again, just kind of course, Sheila Pavlovich has been around for a few years, but yeah. And then we have Lizbeth Cardenas is also a new dispatcher for us. And then Kalina Gomez. So why that's important is because it's your support of this police department that actually provides the strength. A few of these folks are actually seasoned dispatchers that we were able to bring to the city of Rialto because of what your help has been in getting us the salaries that we needed to be competitive. The strength that this whole team, and this is just part of it, we're nearly full for the first time in its history. So that's because of all of you. So thank you. Mayor Pro Tem, thank you so much.
Next, we have Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott that will be making the presentation on National Public Safety Telecommunications Week.
Thank you, Mayor Baca. I've also invited Fire Chief Brian Park up here, as not only do we have Rialto Police Dispatch.
Pretty much any kind of bike for that matter. You want to join us for that, that's going to be great. We also have a vintage BMX bike show. So these are bikes from the 70s, 80s, 90s, actually even going back earlier than that. We're going to have a couple hundred bikes on display. It's going to be an amazing show. We're going to have awards for all categories. We're also doing a freestyle exhibition. So we've got some of the best stunt riders in the United States coming out. These are guys that have won medals in the X Games. We're going to set up ramps. They're going to put on an amazing show for us. In addition to that, we've got a vendor area. So we've got basically members of the bike community, members of the bike industry, the BMX community, the electric bike industry are going to be out there showing the latest and greatest e-bikes. You can come by, check them out, test ride them, absolutely free. It's going to be an amazing time. I look forward to seeing you there. Information about this event, go to rialtoonwheels.com. That's rialtoonwheels.com. See you there.
Rialto Emergency Communications Center, and whereas public safety telecommunications are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services, and whereas public safety telecommunications are the single vital link for our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunications of the City of Rialto and Confire have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients, and whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year, National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, now therefore is it be resolved that the City Council of Rialto declares the week of April 13th through April 19th, 2025 to be National Public Safety Telecommunications Week in the City of Rialto in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and our citizens safe. Signed by Mayor Joe Baca and supported by the Rialto City Council, attested to by Barbara McGee, dated April 8th, 2025. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. And Chief, thank Confire for all they do.
Can we get a picture of you, sir? Right there. You get right in the middle. Are you in here, dude?
Don't forget to get the fire chief in there. We're a family.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, and thank you for everything you do for us.
Appreciate it.
Chief, thank you. Chief, thank you and your department.
Don't leave yet. Just have a seat.
He's not going to say anything, is he? Is he speaking? Who? Mark? No. Okay. Next proclamation that we have is Animal Control Appreciation Week that will be done by Andy Caraceres.
Mayor Pro Tem, while the council members making their way, I just want to introduce Jennifer Avina, who is one of our brand new ACOs. Angel Parga, another ACO. And there's Rudy Cepeda in the back. Stand up, buddy. He was an ACO, but he decided he wants to be a police officer trainee, so he's going to the academy in a couple of months. But
good evening, council, members of the public. This is a proclamation for Animal Control Appreciation Week. It is proclamation number 4. It reads, whereas animal control officers and animal care personnel work tirelessly to protect animals and people, enforce laws, rescue animals in need, and promote responsible pet ownership. And whereas professionals respond to emergencies, assist law enforcement, and safeguard public health through disease prevention and humane enforcement. And whereas the City of Rialto recognizes these professionals for their dedication and service, often working in challenging and unpredictable conditions, and for the fulfillment of Animal Control Department's commitment to providing the highest and most efficient level of customer service. And whereas the City of Rialto wishes to commend each and every animal control for their service, honoring their vital work and their professionalism. Now, therefore, the Mayor, Joe Baca, and the City Council recognizes the week of April 13th through the 19th, 2025. And if I could have, oh, they're already here. All right, so here you go. And I want to add something else. So with the leadership of our chief, we've been able to fulfill the vacancies that have been in that department, and I'm very proud that this council has actually supported all the funds that you have asked for. We've given them to you, and now we have a very robust animal control. So thank you so much.
Did you notice that? Yeah. Thank you very much, Councilmember Andy Caraceres, for the presentation, and thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott, for also assisting with the presentation. At this time, we'd like to move into oral communications. Are there any oral communications?
But we have one more, unless you do not want the chief to give his update on the police station.
Okay. We have an update on the police station. Mark Lane.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I'll make it quick, but first of all, I want to recognize my trusty assistant, my executive assistant, Jeanette. Can you stand up, please? So I know that there's been a lot of kind of oversight, at least some attention paid to the police department, but I would be remiss if I didn't at least explain to the community and those of you that are present, if it wasn't for this city council and this executive team, what you're about to see would have never happened. So I'm going to just give you about a 4-minute overview of the PD. So if I can get Gabe to bring that up, and then we'll kind of show you where we're headed and what your hard work is and investment in this police department is entailing. So just give me 1 second for it to come up. So you can give the council a big hand, please. I appreciate it. So you can see that start up on the second floor. They're just starting to actually put up a couple of walls, but the actual first floor is pretty well studded out. The drywall, which you saw in there, is going to go up next. Right now, you know, we listened to this as you were starting to put this together, and you start bringing in these labor groups. That project right now is employing anywhere between 50 to 100 employees every single day that are the construction workers. That number is probably going to exceed 125, as many as 150 when they start actually getting on the inside. We're set to move into this building the end of this year, if not before. We keep hearing October 31st, first week in November. But more importantly, it'll be summer of 26 when the entire project is finished. And, you know, Council, when I first came back here in 17, we roughly had about 160 employees. Right now, we're about 205. And that's because of your faith in what we're doing. And Councilmember Carrizales, you actually said what we are feeling, and that is a difference. The community is feeling it. I do say this, we make mistakes. We actually admit those mistakes when they occur, but we're seeing fewer errors issues with our employees because we're truly dedicated to this community and keeping it safe, whether it be in animal control or dispatch or records or our SCAT team or our investigations, our traffic, the administration bureau, our jail. Everything is functioning well because you actually have the faith in us to build a department that you've never had in this community. We're getting close to being filled for one of the first times in decades, but with more employees that you've given us. And I so appreciative the trust that you've put in me as your police chief, but this hardworking crew of individuals that just keep doing the day in and day hard work of lifting the safety of this community. So thank you so much, and I appreciate the building. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the update. And we want to thank all of the officers and staff. We continue to thank them for their service to our community and keeping our community safe. I just have one question of you, Chief Plain.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to be in the first floor or second floor?
Yes. Well, my assistant went through the building today. She was one of the first ones, along with Sergeant Palmer, that we have never been in it. And she actually got to see her office, and she said she didn't understand what a window looks like. So, yeah, we're going to be up on the upper floor. Yeah, so the second floor is mainly a lot of administrative offices. So thank you, yes.
Thank you.
Second floor, thanks.
Thank you very much. Now we'll move on to oral communications. Do we have any?
Yes, we have two. We have Daryl Terrell.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Honorable City Council. My name is Daryl Terrell. I'm a resident of the city of Moreno Valley in Riverside County. Honorable Mayor Pro Temp, you're right, we are a family. I don't know how many people in this room or in your city and throughout San Bernardino County has been impacted by catalytic converter thefts. And because we have family members, and as I said before, on Tuesday, last Tuesday, I traveled to the city of San Bernardino, to their city council, to ask them to consider adopting a catalytic converter unlawful possession ordinance that this county, the county has adopted August 23rd, 2022, to create a consistency throughout our county and throughout Southern California. Now, I've been traveling since I'll give you a little brief history, a little bit. I started my journey trying to do something about this law because AB 641, I call 8 you skate law, and you're gonna understand why. Because it allows a person to steal up to 8 catalytic converters and nothing happened to them. That's a true statement. Where I work at Lowe's in Moreno Valley, one of my friends got his catalytic converter stolen. So I've been on this journey since 2022. I went to my board of supervisors in Riverside County, and I was it took me 3 times to get that ordinance changed because We can't depend on the state legislature to get it right. We have to do it ourselves. 4 cities in this county, including Ontario, Rancho Cucamonga, Ontario, Chino Hills, have this, what I call the one and done ordinance. What that means is, if a person steals 1 catalytic converter without the proof of ownership, you face jail time. You don't get a slap on the wrist. You don't get a license violation. That's what it is under current law. So I've been there. We got that ordinance passed. We model our ordinance after San Bernardino County's ordinance. So there were 3 cities that did it prior to the county. There were 6 that was inspired by the ordinance. I went to 19 cities and got every last city on the same page with our county. So I come here to San Bernardino County to your city in Rialto, because you got people in this community that are working people that depend on their cars for their livelihoods. If one single death happens to them, it'd be a major catastrophe in their lives. So we, as cities, especially in San Bernardino County, which I will be continue to go in my mission to make sure we get every last city we can get on the same page. Because I've been to other counties too. I've been to Ventura County, I've been to LA County, I've been to Orange County, I've been to Imperial County, I've been to San Luis Obispo, I've been to Santa Barbara, Tulare, Kern, in this mission to make sure we protect our families and friends from having to choose between getting my catalytic converter fixed or paying my rent. So I'm here to ask you, Honorable City Council and Mayor, to consider adopting the county's ordinance or to create your own ordinance so we all could be on the same page. So we can show these creeps that when you come to this community or any community in Southern California, you will be done. You won't get a slap on the wrist. It will give more tools to the chief, so they could hold these people accountable, which under the current state law they don't. You have other laws, but they don't address the fact of possession. So my thing is, I hope you will look at those I send to you, I email to you guys and gals, and really consider this ordinance, because we have to do something to stand up to these people. Like again, Sacramento is not going to do it right. They're not going to fix it. We are the people going to fix it. We're going to continue to make this community safe. We're going to continue to make Southern California a place where families could grow and not be afraid when they get out in their car to hear the car sound like a dragster. So I'd like to ask you, Honorable Mayor, to consider that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Darrell. As you can see from the speakers that spoke before and our chief of police, that and the whole council as a whole really believes in public safety. I think that we can adopt an ordinance, whether it's a county ordinance or create our own ordinance, and support an ordinance that would come up. If, hopefully we can direct this and then come up at the next meeting and put it on the agenda to adopt an ordinance dealing with Cadillac converters, because my son Cadillac converter was stolen, so I know what it's like, when something happens to families or anybody else. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't happen to anyone, regardless of whether you're a family member or not. So we can do that. Okay, and Chief wants to, we'll talk to you on that. Thank you very much, Darrell. Next.
We have Ms. Anna Gonzalez.
Hello, good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, staff, and community members. Ana Gonzalez, Rialto resident. I am here today to speak on behalf of the mothers. As you all know, if you haven't heard, there was 2 missing girls last week from Carter High School, and they just wanted to thank and address, obviously the missing situation, but also thank the detective that oversaw the case and brought the girls back home. And they're very appreciative. And I know there was like some hurdles and some hiccups
in the journey, but they're definitely thankful to the police department and all the actions that you all took as the city to ensure that the girls came back home safe. And I also wanted to request, not only on their behalf, but on the community's behalf, if we can bring back the area command meetings back, because there's a lot of confusion right now with a lot of the situations that are happening with the Rialto Unified School District, when there's been like fights and you know, missing child situations or other incidents in the community, where because of the jurisdictions, whether it's unincorporated areas or like in the fight that happened at J. Hugh Middle School, that was the Colton Police Department jurisdiction. There's just because it's under the Rialto Unified School District jurisdiction, they automatically assume that is under Rialto PD's jurisdiction. So all to say that there's a lot of confusion within the community. So I think bringing those community meetings back and to address kind of like where the jurisdictions lie and what the role of the police department in those situations is versus what the safety department's role is in the school district's jurisdiction is, would be helpful for the community to understand. I know there's a lot happening right now with Rialto Unified. We're dealing with pedophiles and a lot of other unfortunate events. And so Mayor Baca, the community is actually looking to you for leadership right now in the city and actually the council. And so we ask if police, you know, Chief Kling, if you can also step up and lead and just, you know, or create some type of roundtable for the community so we can, you know, bring some peace of mind to the community in addressing these issues so they know who to turn to when these situations arise and happen. And I also want to, you know, give kudos to all the team that were honored today, because I know they do an amazing job every day. I know I've had my situations when you live in a corner house, a lot of crazy things happen. So I know police staff has been an amazing support for my family and others in my neighborhood. But I also want to acknowledge another unsung hero here in our community, our amazing treasurer, Ed Carrillo, and I think he should be sitting up there with you all. Since he's an elected official, I don't understand why he's not sitting up there with you all. And so it makes me sad to see him down here, not saying that staff is any less, but I think he should be up there with you all, since he also oversees the money that makes a lot of the work happening in this city. So just wanted to bring those things up, and again, thank the police department on behalf of the moms of the missing girls, and thank you for bringing them back home. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Anna, for your suggestion. I think we can look at the possibility, because I know that our law enforcement really cares about our communities and keeping them safe, and I think we'll look at area commands, whether we implement those or not, but thank you very much for the suggestion. Any other items
No,
for individuals?
Yeah, for the tabs.
Okay. Now we'll move approval of the consent items.
So moved.
Excuse me.
Oh, you put tab 2. Okay, sir. Thank you. Okay.
My name is John Lanou. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council. I am a member of the Rialto Historical Society, and I'm passing out documents to you, which one of them, the first 3 pages, is an email that came across my desk last week, and I thought it would be that you would be informed on this issue. The subject is the Rialto Pacific Electric Trail Expansion Project. Page 1, I'll just read the first paragraph for now. With several funding grants secured for the Pacific Electric Trail expansion project, the City of Rialto is developing the PE Trail project located in San Bernardino County, California. The project will expand the existing corridor approximately 1.7 miles. When completed, the PE Trail will run 21 miles from east to west. Skipping down to the last paragraph on that first page, the purpose of this letter is to request your organization's input on the potential or designated historical resources or other cultural resources in the project area. Now, if you will skip to the third page, there's a map there showing the proposed route. And skipping to the next page is our response to this organization. And the name of the organization, I guess I should have mentioned that, SAPPOS, S-A-P-P-H-O-S, Environmental Incorporated. And they're the ones that sent this email out to us. There again, page 4, subject, Rialto Pacific Electric Trail Expansion Project. The Rialto Historical Society has received your document requesting our input, and I'll pass that up. We would like you to preserve 2 full lengths of track and spikes that lie directly behind or north of the existing PE station, Pacific Electric Station at Riverside Avenue. Plus, keep all the existing PE switches, crossing lights, and X-type crossing indicators, and any remaining PE equipment that pertain to the PE history, and give them to the City of Rialto so as to be used for display purposes at the station. The City of Rialto owns the Pacific Electric Station. Currently, it's empty. Previously, it was a Mexican restaurant, Cuco's, I believe, and prior to that, Radiator Shop. Many different organizations, companies have been in there. So this is our response as the Rialto Historical Society to this email. And so if any of you city council people have responses that you want to add to that, why his email address and phone number are on the back of that first the second document. Now, putting on another hat, my own hat, not being a member of the Rialto Historical Society, this is my own personal thinkings on this Pacific Electric Trail. I've been a bicycle rider for the last 46 years of my life, except for the last year. I've kind of had to take care of my wife off and on, so I've kind of dropped off, but I've cycled the Pacific Electric Trail from end to end many, many times, and so I have some thoughts on this. I'd like to request the City Council to open the Pacific Electric, or PE station, this is the next page, as a rest area for the trail, to include snacks and drinks, have the station available for restroom use. There's only one restroom along the trail in the City of Rialto that the public can use, and that's at Bud Bender Park, you know, that's right adjacent to the trail. So if we had the restrooms available there at the PE station, that would really be beneficial. To decorate the inside of the station with pictures and memorabilia from the period, the city to keep and utilize any of the original PE or Union Pacific equipment along the current line and allow the city as first right to it as a display for the PE station. Of course, most of the original Pacific Electric memorabilia, you know, the station, the track was open from Los Angeles to San Bernardino in 1914, so most of that equipment is gone. I understand some of it's in storage here in the city. I'm not quite sure where it is, but even then, Union Pacific currently has jurisdiction over that equipment. Maybe we could negotiate with them to be able to take 2 pieces of track out of when they remove them, put them in the parking lot, embed them in the asphalt of the parking lot of the PE station.
Yeah, I believe your time has run John, but we really do appreciate your input and your suggestions that you've made, so.
Okay.
Want to thank you, for it.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
If I could just make a couple comments to this. I would hope that staff, and I assume that's you, Mr. Sullivan, that's in charge of this project, would pass this letter on. I think there's some good ideas in it, but pass this letter on to our consultant, Alta. I'm not sure who Sapos is, but our consultant is Alta, which we have a contract with. I would hope you would pass this information on and maybe have Alta contact this individual at Sapos. And additionally, when the public comment period comes about, include these comments with that process.
Andy Caraceres? Okay, thank you. Are there any other oral communications? Okay, now we'll move on to the consent item. Do I hear a motion or any item that?
Quickly, just on item D7 for the grant funding that we received the funding for this evening, there is a clarification for the amount of the award. In the staff report, it mentions the amount of $1,500,000. It should actually read $1,929,851, and we'll actually have to bring back a subsequent item with a budget resolution to receive the funds. The item tonight was just the request for council to authorize the application to receive the funding, so I just wanted to make sure that clarification was clear for the item tonight.
Okay, thank you. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion's been made by Ed Scott on the consent item. Do you hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Edward Montoya. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. We'll move on now to tab 1.
Mayor, this is going to be your Fire Marshal, Chris Jensen.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, and the community of Rialto. My name is Chris Jensen, Division Chief Fire Marshal with Rialto Fire Department. Tonight I'm presenting Agenda Item Tab 1, a resolution ordering the abatement of weeds on various properties within the city limits and holding a public hearing for ruling on any objections thereto. The city's municipal code, Title 18, Chapter 18.72, was originally implemented through Ordinance 1294 in 1999 and has continued each year since that time. The specific ordinance calls for the removal of dead, decayed, or hazardous trees, weeds, or other vegetation dangerous to the public safety and welfare for which constitutes a fire hazard, including trash and other combustible materials accumulated on properties. Failing to comply will result in the city's third-party contractor performing the work, and the cost charged to the city will be recovered through a lien on the property, including an administrative fee. The enforcement responsibility for weed abatement includes 3 city departments: the fire department handling vacant properties, code enforcement for occupied properties, and public works for city-owned properties. Pursuant to resolution number 8330, the fire department sent 527 notices to property owners on March 31st, 2025 regarding the weed abatement requirements and the deadline for the spring cleanup of May 15th, 2025 and October 1, 2025 for the fall season. During these inspections, the fire department partners with various other agencies to achieve its weed abatement goals, including Rialto Unified School District, the Railroad, Caltrans right-of-way, Fish and Wildlife, and various conservancies that have protected properties within the city. Again, this season, the fire department will provide a public access portal to see what properties have been determined to be in compliance and those that are out of compliance. That update occurs each day as the inspections occur. In this GIS environment, the public will be able to see the parcels, the parcel numbers, and as it is inspected, the parcels will change to a color of red if they're in non-compliance, and the parcels will change to green if they're in compliance. This is a good opportunity for the public to see the inspection processes as it rolls through the city. Excuse me. The letters that were mailed to the parcel owners are represented here on this slide, which provides the legal requirements found in Title 18, Chapter 18.17.010, as well as the deadlines for compliance with the requirements for the 2025 weed abatement season. Staff recommends the City Council conduct a public hearing to consider adoption of resolution number 8330 and ordering the abatement of weeds on various properties within the city limits, and to hear any objection to imposing the abatement costs therefore as a lien against parcels of property set forth in Exhibit A as attached in the agenda. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay. Are there any questions by any members of the audience? Hearing none.
This is a public hearing.
Are there?
And if there's any members of the audience that wish to speak, now would be the time. Move to close the public hearing.
Motion's been made by Ed Scott, seconded by Carla Perez. All those in favor of closing the public hearing signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. Discussion on it?
I have questions, yes.
Now we'll move to discussions on the item. Councilmember Ed Scott.
Mr. Jensen, just a couple questions. The list that you've provided with parcel numbers, does that mean that there's been inspections done on these properties and that they are in need of weed abatement?
The parcel list that you were provided are all of the vacant parcels within the city. They have currently not been inspected. This is the notification to them that we will be inspecting on or about May 15th, and that they should be in compliance by that time.
Okay, I'm just curious why we have to go through the administrative costs of notifying the city of Rialto to clean up their vacant properties versus it just being done automatically like it should be and like we should be setting an example. Secondly, Lewis Hillwood has got a tremendous amount of parcels on here, and those are properties that are under the control of either the former redevelopment agency or the city of Rialto. They too should be automatically cleaning up these properties and setting a good example for the residents and the businesses in this city. So it kind of bothers me to see this list that we're having to spend taxpayer dollars to send the city and a city partnership notices. Just curious.
And understand your concerns in jurisdictions that provide weed abatement and evaluations and inspections. We typically do notice successor-owned and city-owned parcels during the inspection process as well as the notification process, so that there's consistency in that application.
So who in the city do you send this notice to?
Mayor Pro Tem, I can answer that. We do work closely with the fire department. We enacted a program and a partnership really with the fire department about 2 years ago to where these notices, we do have reoccurring APN numbers that we are aware of, and the notices will get emailed over to my Deputy Director of Maintenance and Facilities. Matter of fact, we did start performing weed abatement this week on city-owned parcels.
I guess the question here by Councilmember Ed Scott, why are we sending it to ourselves when we should just be doing it? And I guess that's the question.
Well, we're spending money sending it to ourselves.
Well, we don't receive them by mail.
And those aren't your dollars, by the way. Those are the taxpayers of this city's dollars.
Yeah, the notices are emailed. They're not mailed to
However
the
you
Public
send them,
Works.
it still takes personnel to do this. It takes
Understood.
manpower. Our employees make good money. I don't understand why we're having to do that. You're wasting taxpayer money.
But we do appreciate taking action and doing the weed abate. that needs to be done.
We appreciate that, but I just don't understand why we're sending ourselves notices. How many staff members do you have that send out these notices? Chief? Two.
Sir, we can clean this up.
They don't have other things that are important to do?
Certainly they do.
Thank you.
Certainly they do.
I guess in the future, I guess our city manager can look into that and look at making sure that that the city is complying with the weed abate and cleaning up, and that that we send out notices to other individuals that need to get the notices. But we do appreciate the city taking action, because I saw all the way from redevelopment agencies to everything else that's listed on here.
Lots of them. It just seems like a waste of taxpayer money, folks. And we're living in a world where people are watching taxpayer money, in case you didn't know it.
But thank you. Any other questions? Have you gotten any replies back from any of the notices?
We have received probably 5 direct phone calls advising us of when their contractor will be performing the abatements. We received approximately 12 letters back of the 527 that we sent out that were undeliverable. Of those 12, 6 of them we've located the property owners and a corrected address. We use the county assessor information to get it to last known address. Other than that, we have not received any other concerns or complaints.
Carla Perez?
Thank you, Mayor. Do we have anything on our site that where somebody can report a property, whether it's occupied or abandoned? I mean, oftentimes the community is our eyes and ears out and can help with the, staff time consumption, or taking the time to go out and look at everything. If we can kind of get ahead of it and somebody can report something that may be a hazard, I mean, that would be great to have that option.
Yes, we have that process established. We've used it for fireworks and other avenues, and so this is just another opportunity for us to use that.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, I can just say for myself that I do appreciate the abatement weed abate program, and that we're going out and cleaning up and beautifying our city. We just have to make sure that we have the right method to make sure that we comply, not only to sending notices to residents, business owners, and others, but look at how our city will lead by example, and we have led by example. So appreciate that very much. So thank you. Any other questions? Not move? Anybody want to make a motion to approve that? Do we need to move to approve it? I know. I'm asking if anybody want to make a motion.
Move for approval.
Motion's been made by Carla Perez. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Andy Cotaceres. All those.
Roll call.
Councilmember Perez,
Aye.
Councilmember Caricel,
Aye.
Councilmember Montoya,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Scott,
No.
Mayor Baca.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, motion carries. We'll move on to item tab 2.
Okay. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, Daniel Casey, Principal Planner. I'll be making the presentation here on tab number 2. The file number for reference, it's annexation number 2025-0001. On March 4th, 2025, the Economic Development Committee requested staff prepare a resolution to initiate the annexation process for an over 100-acre area of land known as the Vulcan Mine Site, Vulcan Material Site. The Vulcan Material Site is located at the northwest corner of Pepper Avenue and Highland Avenue, and there's currently an existing asphalt operation on the site. It's located immediately to the east of the existing River Ranch community and the Rancho Verde community, and is currently in an unincorporated area of land under the jurisdiction of the County of San Bernardino. The San Bernardino County Local Agency Formation Commission, also known as LAFCO, oversees annexations of territory. And their first step in the annexation process involves a city council adopting a resolution to initiate the annexation filing process. Staff has prepared the necessary resolution as requested by the Economic Development Committee, and has also prepared a boundary map to visualize the area that is to be annexed. That is the map that's showing on the screen right now. The red line, if you can kind of see that, indicates the existing city boundary, and then the yellow line, it kind of forms a triangular shape around the Vulcan material site. That is the area proposed to be annexed into the city of Rialto. Now, should the city council adopt the resolution before you tonight, the second step in the annexation process would be for the staff to begin preparing the LAFCO submittal requirements for the application. Those include 3 specific items. First being the pre-zoning. Pre-zoning would involve city council approval of a zone change and a general plan amendment to determine the precise zoning and land use designations for this area to be annexed. Then subsequently, the city would need to have a plan for services prepared that would identify the type, level, range, financing for the services that would be provided to this area to be annexed. And then also the city would need to engage a registered civil engineer to prepare the necessary legal description and maps to meet the LAFCO submittal requirements. Those items that I just mentioned will require future costs. Staff will seek the necessary services and prepare budget resolutions for consideration by the city council prior to any expense being made for those submittal requirements. And that concludes my presentation. Staff recommends that the city council adopt the resolution before you tonight, authorizing staff to initiate the annexation filing process.
Good. Thank you very much. Is there any comments or anyone from the audience who would like to address this? John?
Yes, John, I'm going to call you up.
We do need to open the public hearing.
Yes, after you, that's what I was going to say, after we close the public hearing.
We'll open this for a public hearing. All those in favor signify by saying aye. We don't need a vote on it? Okay. It's open.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council. Again, my name is John Lanou. I was here last month discussing part of this subject. I'd like to reiterate a little bit more. My wife and I live just north of the 210 freeway off of Linden, and just around north of there is Carter High School, and just south of Carter High School is one of these 5 county islands that exist in the city of Rialto. Many of the streets along in the county along these islands are not paved. They're dirt streets. There's no curbs. There's no gutters. There's no sidewalks. Linden Street, near just south of Carter High School. One side of the street is county, one side of the street is city. A few months ago, the county came in and paved their side of the street and made improvements in the intersection of Bonert and Linden. And I asked them at the time, I said, well, why didn't you do both sides? They said, well, that's the city side. They're not doing it. The county is doing it. So this is a real nuisance to have these pockets of county property in the city of Rialto. I also mentioned last time I was here, public services, emergency services. The city of Rialto doesn't respond to those county properties. They have to go to the sheriff's department to get emergency services or county fire, ambulance service. All has to be done through the county. So we really need to get these pockets, these islands of San Bernardino County property annexed into the city of Rialto to make it so that we have jurisdiction over our entire city and not have these bits and pieces that we can't have jurisdiction over. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. Is there any other member from the public wishing to address this item? Hearing none, do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Motion's been made by Carla Perez, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Andy Scott. All those in favor of closing the public hearing signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, now we'll move in to discussion. It's
Mr.
Councilman Red
Casey,
Scott.
couple of questions for you. Number one, has there been any conversations with LAFCO regarding this proposed annexation?
Yes, the staff has
And
met with them.
what were those conversations?
Generally discussing what their process is, what we would need to prepare for you tonight.
Did you get an indication whether they're in favor or against it?
I wouldn't say I received an indication of it, where they stood.
Okay, and there is a proposed project for this property, correct?
That's correct. Staff is aware of a project that's being processed by the county.
And what is that project?
It is a proposed warehouse.
How big?
1.3 million square feet.
Okay, and is the applicant in favor of this annexation?
I'm not sure if they've expressed that to me, whether they're in favor or not.
So this is not a voluntary annexation?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, so this is basically just plopping down a warehouse in Rialto that the county has control of?
That appears to be the situation.
And in the conversations with LAFCO, were there any conversations about the requirement to take in the other pockets of the city?
We did discuss that with LAFCO. At one time, it was a requirement. It is no longer.
It is no. Do you know why it is no longer?
I believe there was a time frame on it that it's lapsed.
Okay, could that be imposed on us?
I don't believe so.
And is the city of Rialto against annexation of those pockets?
Previously, the council had at one time adopted a resolution. I don't believe anything has changed in that.
For or against?
To annex.
To annex.
The North Islands.
And hasn't one of the issues been with the annexation of those pockets is the county's failure and lack of response about bringing those properties up into compliance? Sidewalks, curb gutters, paving,
Yes.
signalization, street lights.
Yes, there are a lot of improvements missing in those areas.
Okay, and have we determined what the cost would be to,
There was in 2016 a plan for services provided for those islands.
okay, maybe you could provide that to the city council so that when a resident wants to speak to us about it, we can be a little more informed of what
Absolutely.
the actual cost of the city would be to annex those. And how long does this process take?
Our understanding is that once we have a completed application submitted to LAFCO, their timeframe is 6 months. Of course, we have the timeframe as a city to do the pre-zoning, the plan for services, and the legal descriptions. I would estimate that would be 6 months of our own time. So all in total, 1 year, 12 months.
Okay. And my final question is services, police, fire, water, sewer, in a county pocket area is provided by the police and fire are provided by the county supposedly, but in reality, is it not true that we service those areas and we have a mutual aid agreement with the county for both police and fire services?
That's my understanding, yes.
Is that correct, Chief Park?
Yes, sir. We have both mutual and auto aid agreements.
So if the county cannot respond, the city goes in?
There's certain parameters, but yes.
Yeah, okay. And then water and sewer, water and wastewater would have to be provided by the city of Rialto for this project, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all the questions I have.
Okay, Carla?
Thank you, Mayor. As Mr. Lanu expressed, it is difficult and sometimes an eyesore because we don't provide maintenance in those county pockets. And as Ms. Gonzalez shared, for safety purposes, for public safety needs as well. So with that said, I'd like to make a motion to move forward with this.
Motion's been made. Do I hear a second? Seconded by Ed Scott.
Resolution number 8338.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, let's call for the vote. All those in favor signify by
Roll
saying
call.
aye. Roll call.
Councilmember Perez,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Caracellas,
Aye.
Councilmember Matoya,
Aye.
and Mayor Baca.
Aye.
And that resolution is for, resolution.
8338.
8338, authorizing staff to initiate the San Bernardino County, Local Agent Formation Commission, which is LAPCO, to annex Father per procedure for reorganization, to indicate the annexation of 5 parcels. Thank you.
Correct, thank you. Next, we'll move on to tab 3.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of council.
Conflict?
For your consideration tonight are multiple actions necessary to progress the Locust roadway widening and rehabilitation program. Staff is requesting the City Council to accept the real property appraisals establishing just compensation for the purchase of needed right-of-way, accept the waiver valuation reports, adopt a resolution approving $3.5 million in regional traffic development impact fees towards this project, authorize the city manager to negotiate property dedications not exceeding $3.2 million, authorize a contract change order to Mark Thomas not exceeding $254,710, and authorize the city manager to execute all related documents. So this project originated from the council's direction to rehabilitate Locust Avenue, starting from Riverside Avenue heading south to Casmelia Street. This designated truck route is currently a 2-lane roadway requiring significant upgrades. So I'm pleased to report that the design is approaching 90% completion, with construction targeted for late 2025. This slide here depicts the extent and the project limits, as I mentioned, from Riverside Avenue heading south to Casmelia Street. So when completed, Locust Avenue will be widened from 64 feet to 88 feet wide, featuring 2 lanes in each direction, designated to support heavy traffic and truck traffic on that roadway, parkways, and sidewalks. Staff working with Mark Thomas have completed necessary property appraisals and waiver valuations for temporary construction easements. These details of each property location are included in tonight's report as attachment 1. This slide here depicts the intersection of Riverside and Locust and showing the temporary construction easements with the crosshatch, just particularly in this section, and also the right-of-way acquisition with the single slash marks. So the construction estimate for the project is approximately $18 million. The city's current DIF balance that can be used towards this project is $16 million, with projected balances of $19.8 million towards the end of this upcoming fiscal year. In addition to these funds, staff has applied for a local partnership program grant in the amount of $9.7 million, and we should hear back in June on our success in receiving that grant. I'm staying positive that we will receive that. So staff is requesting council approve a budget resolution appropriating $3.5 million from the DIF towards this project. $3.2 million for property dedications and $254,710 for a Mark Thomas contract change order to address 11 additional parcels where private property limits currently extend into developed city infrastructure. So thank you, and this concludes my presentation. I have representatives from Mark Thomas who are in the audience and available to answer any questions.
Are there any questions from members of the council?
Yes.
Councilmember Ed Scott.
Mr. Sullivan, these real property appraisals are simply appraisals, correct?
Correct.
And have we approached these property owners?
There has been some outreach from the Mark Thomas staff. on the appraisals. And with authorization tonight, I have guarantees from Mark Thomas to start right away on these appraisals and working with the property owners with an anticipated completion with about 6 months. Now, it is negotiation, so some things could go back and forth.
And that was my question. What is the process if a property owner doesn't necessarily agree with the appraisal?
There's a there's a negotiation of the price itself, as long as it's fair and reasonable and just, and that's what these are. There's other legal ramifications or processes that can be taken, and I would work with the city attorney's office on those.
Okay, but generally we'll try to negotiate.
100%.
Okay. Well, hopefully we'll get this done quick because Locust Avenue definitely needs to be repaved and redone, and it will make a big improvement to that area up there. So,
Agreed.
I don't know if there's other questions. If there's not, I'll move approval.
Motion's been made by Councilmember Ed Scott, seconded by me. And it does comply with our general plan goals and policies, so it's in compliance with that. And we have adopted that already, so. With that, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you.
We'll move to tab 4.
Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council, John Rossi, your interim utility director. We're here this evening to ask your consideration or present for your consideration approval of two MOUs that would authorize two resolutions that would authorize an MOU to receive $2.5 million in grant funds from the Southern California Association of Governments. This money grant would be utilized as one of two grants. There's another $2 million grant from the Bureau of Reclamation to fund both the research and pumping of well 3A, City Well 3A, which has some water quality issues, and then fund ultimately the design and installation of a treatment system to put this well online. And the city would be a tremendous asset to have another well for our system. And happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions from members of the council? If not, do I hear a motion?
Just a quick comment. I want to thank you and staff for going after this and bringing funds and moving forward with this project along. It certainly is welcome and needed, so I would move approval.
Motion's been made by Councilmember Ed Scott, seconded by Andy Caraceres. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Mayor, I just want to make sure with the motion and the second that we are talking about the adopting the council resolution 8339 and a RUA resolution 08-40.
That's correct.
Thank you, motion, the maker of the motion. Thank you.
With that, that concludes the items on the tab. We'll next move into council members' report. We'll start with Council Member Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott.
I have nothing this evening.
Okay, thank you. Move on to Council Member Andy Caraceres.
No reports.
Council Member Carla Perez.
I have nothing to report, but I would like to wish Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott a happy belated birthday. He had a birthday a few days ago.
Council Member Edward Montoya.
Yeah, so I have a couple of things. I was pretty busy this last couple of weeks. I attended the Vietnam Veterans War Commemoration, the 50th anniversary, which was put together by Congressman Pete Aguilar's office and Disabled American Veterans Chapter 12. And that was a really awesome event to recognize the Vietnam War veterans who are still with us. I also hosted a walk and talk on National Walk Day last week. I put it together and I got a lot of community members to come out and just walk and chat And I got really good feedback. They enjoyed getting out and being able to exercise and just talk with someone.
Is that in our city?
That was here at Rialto City Park. Also, we have been planning the Memorial Day event. We've locked in some key aspects that are due to take place on Monday, May 26th at Rialto Cemetery, which is located at 200 West Willow Avenue. We will be hosting, and we are welcoming American Legion Post 422. The MCs of the event are Treasurer Ed Carrillo, who is a Marine Corps veteran, and Ralph Figueroa, who is an Army veteran, and he is also a nationally recognized 2024 Student Veteran of America, Student Veteran of the Year, and the Commissioner of the San Bernardino County Veterans Advisory Committee. Our speaker will be Octavio Sanchez, who is also a Marine Corps veteran, and he's a pastor and director of Front Sight Military Outreach. And let me see. Following the event, we will have a free picnic and lunch at Margaret Todd Park, and the food will be provided by Cujo Big Smoke Barbecue. So I hope to see you all there. I'm sure I'll see all of us there. And thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Edwin Montoya. That's very important for a lot of our communities to know that the Memorial Day will be open to all veterans and all citizens, whether you're a veteran or not. You're all welcome to attend the ceremony in honor of many of our veterans over Memorial Weekend. So thank you very much for that extensive report. Mark it on your calendar. We hope to see you there. Next, I will give just a brief report. I attended Earth Day. I want to thank, Tim Sullivan, Public Works. I'd like to thank the schools that participated and the volunteers and the parents that came out on Earth Day on Saturday. And Edward Montoya was also there. I thought he was going to mention that as well, or you did?
I had a long report. So
Oh, he had a long report, so he was yielding to me to make sure that I covered it. So Councilmember Edward Montoya and I were there on Earth Day, and we went around and looked at a lot of the places where we were planting trees and doing a lot of the work that needs to be done for Earth Day. So again, Tim Sullivan, thank you very much for putting it together and having Earth Day here. I also attended the seniors breakfast at Grace Vargas Senior Center. And of course, the comments that most of them said when we were there, the roof is still leaking. So we still need to make sure that we get that roof fixed there at the senior center. Other than that, I went to the Southern California Association of Governors meeting on housing, and with me with Tanya Williams that attended the meeting as well. With that, that concludes my report. So next, I'll move on to the city clerk, Barbara McGee. Do you have any report?
Which we have the market every Wednesday. So from 10 to 2, tomorrow we're going to be recognizing Autism Month, recognizing that. So we have about 30 youth are coming out tomorrow to celebrate with us. And so we will have little activities and coupons for them tomorrow from 10 to 2. And then the next week we will be celebrating Easter at the market. I know we have visitors from Mayor Pro Tem comes out to the market almost every Wednesday, and I know Councilmember Montoya comes out. So I would like to see the rest of my council come out sometime.
Yeah, you guys.
Okay.
And I'm sitting right next to you. And you're my favorite city clerk.
We haven't seen you in 6 months.
Well, I haven't
No,
seen
you
you in 6 months.
No, you saw me like a month ago.
It was you.
Okay.
Okay. Well, please I want to thank my council members and my mayor pro tem for coming out to the farmers market. And at the end of the month, we have our Rialto on Wheels, which is sponsored by Don's Bike, the Healthy Rialto, and the police department. So.
Are you gonna have candy out there tomorrow?
No, I'm not having candy out there tomorrow.
It's Easter.
I have other stuff. You usually come see. Easter's next weekend. But can I get back to my Rialto on Wheels? That I'm going to ask my council members would they also donate me a bike. Want you challenge PD? PD has given how many bikes they've given? I'm talking to you. 6, 7, 8, but they're electric bikes.
No, they can afford it.
They have already done that. Yes.
Yeah, one of those was from me. So
No.
Thanks.
No, they were not from you. So if not electric bike, if you can donate a bike, and if you need more information, you can contact me or talk with my staff in the route right there. So, and that is also to continue to have the young people and the adults to be safe and ride safe, and PD will also be there talking about the safety tips of riding safety and walking safety, being safe and being healthy. So that's my report, and I'll see all you guys at the market.
Thank you very much, Barbara McGee, our clerk. I also want to compliment her because not only the work that is being done there at the city clerk's office, there's quite a few residents from the city of Rialto that come in, and they also make suggestions in terms of what are some of the needs of the city of Rialto. And it was nice to hear it and get some of the comments that were made. So I do appreciate the comments that were made by those citizens to you that you passed on to me, that I passed on to the city manager as well. So thank you very much for the service that you do beyond just providing the service as a city clerk. So thank you.
Your favorite city clerk also.
That's right. I think she's every one of us on the council, right?
Yeah.
There you
You
go.
almost have
Got a
three.
unanimous vote there. Okay.
Close to having 3.
Next, I'd like to move on to our city treasurer and master of ceremonies for Memorial Day, Edward Carrillo.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing to report, but I am disappointed, Barbara, that you did not recall that I've come out on a regular basis to the farmer's market.
See?
You are
Even though you are
absolutely
my
right.
favorite city
Thank
clerk.
you, Mr. Carrillo.
Look, you are absolutely right.
And
yes.
he's one of your favorite as well, so you've got
Right.
6 of us from the council here.
Yes, he comes every Wednesday as well. I am so sorry.
Okay, next I have the city attorney, Eric Vale. Do you have anything you want to report?
Mayor, my office has prepared a number of the catalytic converter ordinances. We've done a number for a number of cities. We'll put that together with a staff report and get it to the council for council consideration. But I will make sure to send it to the police chief's department first to take a look at it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, I'll move on to our city manager, Tanya Williams.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The only report that I have this evening is just to share that this morning I was able to attend a networking breakfast with the Rialto Chamber. Councilmember Montoya was there as well, and it was a really nice event, and I really am inspired by the activity of the Chamber, and I really appreciate them inviting me to the event, and I continue to look forward to working with them in the future. So, thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to call on our Chief of Police, Mark Klein.
Mayor Pro Tem and council, I'll make it quick, but we're improving in so many different areas, and one I'm really happy to tell you about is the Baker to Vegas 120-mile relay that we just participated in as a team, police department this last weekend. We're in the 150 category, so anything up to 150 officers. We're at 136, so we're still within that category. We finished the overall 59th out of 270, which is an improvement for us. We took 4th out of 16 in our category. We've already got our sights set on the other 3 that are in front of us. more importantly, with our addition, with our new personnel, they're a lot faster than the old Rialto. And I'm being nice here. We shaved we came in at 16 hours and 23 minutes. So we shaved off an hour from the previous year. So we already know what our improvement ratio is coming in for next year, and I'll be happy to stand here next year and tell you that we probably made it to the podium, right? All right, so anyway, that's that. I also just want to briefly tell you that last month, again, for your support, our officers and their hard work, 7,741 calls for service, 4,872 of those were officer initiated. And that's really important for folks to know that when they're traversing the city, that, you know, if they're here to cause trouble, they're going to meet Rialto PD. And, you know, hopefully in a positive way. We've also made 474 arrests and 1,271 reports that were taken. So our numbers are increasing, and that's a good thing. And again, it's because of your support and the amount of officers and professional staff that you've given us to build the department. So thank you so much. That's all I have.
Okay. And thank you very much, and thanks to the officer that helped locate that missing girl that was mentioned earlier by Anna Gonzalez. But
yeah, that was, well, two detectives. One was Agnes Watson, the other one was Edgar Villarreal. And Agnes, right after that, came in and told me she's going to retire. So we're going to actually lose her in a couple of months. That's not because of the incident. She just took the opportunity to tell me that. So anyway, yeah, I said right when I thought I was getting full, now I got to get another opening. So anyway, thank you, though.
Thank you and the officers in the police department. Thank you. Next, I have Brian Park, Fire Chief.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Council. So yeah, as the weather gets nicer throughout the summer, you know, we see additional dangers as well as the annual grass cures. That's why we start the weed abatement process this time of year. It's also the time of year we start with our drowning prevention program. Tomorrow we kick off our partnership with the Rialto Unified School District. We do our now famous Stewie the Duck's drowning prevention program with all 19 kindergartens. We've taught over 20,000 children drowning prevention over the last 20-year partnership. No reported drownings from those students who've gone through that process. So it's something that we're really proud of the partnership with our city sister departments, the school district, and, you know, the kids that, you know, take our leadership and collaborate with us on that. So this starting up tomorrow, Hugh Banks Elementary at 8:30 tomorrow morning with the schools, and then we'll get through all 19 of our first grade classes over the next month or two. It's one of our bigger programs. Many agencies around the county have tried to replicate this. You see this regularly taught. This started with a family that lost their son to a drowning, unfortunately, and they started, name was Stewie. They started this program. We picked it up 20 years ago when Rialto led the region, led the county in drownings in 2006. And so we took a hard stance to get out, educate, and partner with the schools and with the kids. So that's what we're excited to see come back. You'll see our folks out on social media, and you'll see Ryan Cathy probably in the duck over the next few weeks. I think he still fits in the uniform, and we're excited to partnership with the schools. So. Maybe.
I thought that was you, Ed, you know, but that's okay.
Just Santa.
I don't fit in that. No way.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Next, our Community Director, Kobe.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Council. Just want to give you a quick update on some business license activity that we've had. We take snapshots every 2 weeks of our business license output, and in between the period of the middle of March and April 1, we had a half a dozen businesses come into the city. A couple on Foothill. One's a female clothing store up in the Renaissance. One is coffee sales. Then a couple of them are more service oriented in terms of, you know, laundry services and ice cream shops. But the interesting part of it is just what 6 businesses can do. They give us projected gross revenues for annual sales, and those 6 businesses are $1.9 million of gross annual revenues. So it's pretty impressive for 2 weeks, 6 businesses in the city of Rialto. We typically get around a dozen or more every month coming in new to the city. And so we'll have continual report outs of that. Of course, our sales tax, you could probably estimate 10% of that number coming in through sales tax, but that's this month's snapshot for business license.
Okay. Thank you. Next, I have Cynthia Alvarado, Parks Recreation Director.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and members of the council. Here's what's going on in Rialto. The Rialto Fitness Center is having their open house this week, April 7th through the 11th. The hours are the hours of operation for the Fitness and Aquatic Center from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. Rec and Roll will be at Flores Park this Saturday, April 12th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Total Wellness Fair will be happening at Saturday, April 12th at Joe Sampson from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Feeding America Senior Mobile Pantry Food Distribution will be happening at Grace Vargas Senior Center Wednesday, April 16th from 9 to 11 a.m. The Department of Aging and Adult Services Bus Pass Distribution will be Wednesday, April 16th at Grace Vargas Senior Center from 10 to 11 a.m. Our Earth Day event will be happening Wednesday, April 16th at City Hall, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Teen Center Glow Hunt will be Friday, April 18th at the Carl Johnson Center from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Registration's open now. Tiny Tots Egg Hunt will be Friday, April 18th at Margaret Todd Park from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. Our Spring Extravaganza will be Saturday, April 19th at Frisbee Park from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And again, Miss Barbara's hosting Rialto on Wheels Saturday, April 26th with Dawn's Bike Shop here at the Civic Center from 9 to 11 a.m. Tiny Tots May registration session will close Monday, April 28th. People can register online or in person. Summer camp registration opens Thursday, May 1st, online or in person starting at 7 a.m. And our Memorial Day tribute will be Monday, May 26th at Rialto Park Cemetery from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that's it for me.
Thank you very much. As you can see, we have quite a few activities that are going on with our Parks and Recreation and for our community as well. So thank you very much for putting those together. Next, I have our Financial Director, Scott William. Do you have anything you want to report?
City Council, two major areas of focus for the Finance Department. We're continuing to work in the background toward our 2023-24 audit. I was updated by the firm today, and staff are continuing to field requests, and they are, of course, working toward a draft. Related to this, 2 weeks ago, we issued an RFP for a new audit firm for next year, and expect that to be presented to the council in the next month or so. We've been fielding questions from various potential respondent firms. Of course, this is a busy time for staff and departments with preparing the 2025-26 annual budget. We have been working with departments to get a draft into the financial system, and that has been completed. The next action is to review that draft in the initial stages with city manager, assistant city manager, after that departments, and this is all in anticipation of budget workshop in May.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have our Human Resources, Shaima.
I have nothing to report, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you very much, all of you that participated in giving a report. One of the council members says, you don't have to give a report if you don't want, but if you want to, I'm just calling on you to share that with the public as well. So thank you very much for sharing that information. With that, that concludes the City Council's activities. Do we have a motion to proceed or adjourn?
Motion
Nope.
to adjourn?
Okay, I thought for a while nobody wanted to leave. Motion's been made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. Council's adjourned.